So here's a fun one for you. Last week, on March 31st, which of course was I believe a Monday, right? The leader of Marco Rubio's diplomatic security service was in Brussels, Belgium, because Marco Rubio would be coming a few days later for a NATO foreign ministers meeting. So the security detail was at the hotel where Marco Rubio was going to be staying. And they were doing their usual things, right? We're making sure everything's safe and secure here, just getting things ready for Rubio's arrival. You know, he's a big wig, he's got to be protected. But the leader of the DSS, Diplomatic Security Service, decided he wanted to have a few drinks. So he goes down to the hotel bar, and bar's closed. You know, ordinarily in that situation, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, I guess it is pretty early in the morning or late at night, however you want to look at it. Maybe I ought to just go to bed, right? Well, apparently, according to the arrest records and multiple sources there, this security detail leader didn't take this too lightly. So he began arguing with the hotel staff, telling them they had to reopen the bar because, by God, I need my drink. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. And when he became belligerent with the hotel staff, they called the police. So you would think at that point, right, this would be the end of it. Obviously, the security detail from the Secretary of State is not going to cause a rift with the police, right? Oh, you'd be so incredibly wrong. According to 4 different sources who were there, the leader of Marco Rubio's security detail then fought the police. And when I say fought the police, I mean he fought the police in a foreign country because he couldn't get a drink. I'm assuming at this point, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming he probably already had a couple. You don't just fight the cops in a foreign country when you're, stone cold sober, just needing a nightcap. But he fought the police and he was then promptly arrested. Then the U.S. Embassy had to get involved because obviously, okay, now we've got a U.S. citizen, the leader of our Secretary of State's security detail. He's in jail for punching cops. Okay. So the U.S. Embassy gets involved, works out some kind of deal with the police, and the guy gets released. And then a couple days later, I think the next day maybe, Marco Rubio does show up. He goes to his conference. Everything's fine and dandy. But I cannot stress enough how insane this story is. Like, if I were Marco Rubio, I would look at this and be like, listen, thank you for your service, but I don't want you protecting me. If you're the kind of guy that's going to punch a cop because you can't get a beer, you're probably not the kind of guy I want on my security detail. Thanks, but no thanks. Please see yourself out, and please don't hit me on your way out. Not exactly the kind of stable person you want in charge of your life. But this is what we get with the Trump administration. This is the caliber of people that they have left in the government after purging everybody. And by the way, the sources that spoke to Washington Examiner, which is a conservative paper, by the way, and they're reporting all this, but the sources tried to kind of make excuses. They said, quote, we're under severe strain. We've been stretched to a near breaking point. Okay, I get that. Trust me, I've been there. I think we all have at, some points in our lives, careers, families, whatever. But I've never felt the need to punch a cop because I couldn't get a beer while I'm supposed to be working. Let's not forget that part. You're on the job, dude. This isn't like after hours, okay, cool. No, you were prepping everything for your boss's arrival. So I get that you're stressed. I get that you're to the breaking point. But I think that young fella right there, the one who did get arrested, I think he's hit his breaking point. And I don't think he needs to be on that detail anymore. If you ask me, this story sounds more like he should be headed to rehab. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.